Hey everyone, it's Mace1370. We are here for an RTA Climb video. Before we get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please see the video description below for a link to my Discord. So I've been getting over a cold, it's that time of year. My voice is almost back to normal, so that's why I didn't really have any videos last week. Also, I think I'm going to make a new video series about like a beginner playthrough and kind of, how to guide people who are starting up the game as we get into the new year. I think that would be a fun series to go through. Maybe create a new account and just kind of, pilot it for a little while and explain, the decision-making process and how you can, quickly start the game and, get into the mid-game as soon as possible. So let's see. I did like a week of the green Sid. People call it like the potato cleave. And it's okay, but to be honest, I think there's some pretty strong counters to it. And if you have those built, the draft felt like you just died. I'm not super experienced with it, so that might have been part of the problem as well. So I'm going to go back to my AOL Belly and pre-ban, and we'll just play, kind of like aggro flex into standard. This meta is really pretty toxic right now, as you can see with the second pick Emma Ball, although that's kind of unusual. The Lua Stenny for me is pretty typical. If Lua's open, I think she's a really strong pick to take, especially with Spectre Tenebria in the 2 slot. So the fact that he's responded with Ball and Conqueror Lilius here is a little weird, but we can take DJ Basar. I think he's really good into the top 3. He has the barrier inversion for Arrowell, he can cleanse the team if Ball sleeps, and he can, do a similar thing with the Sea Lilius provoke. My DJB is pretty well built. He's a little, I think, over 200 ER, so very unlikely, I think, for him to get CC'd by the Ball, unless this is like a weird tech ball. And most Liliuses aren't able to provoke him. Then we'll just take Roy, because we have another book, so, Roy has a book and Stenny has a book, so that'll set us up to, get our full Roy Soulburn combo off. He takes Solitaria. At this point, my goal is just to get a must ban in 5, so I get my top 4. And his top 4 units have a ton of debuffs, and then he takes Winter, that's another debuffer, right? So we can just take Ed last, and I think he has to ban it, because Ed would just solo his team. I have been in a scenario with Ed, like later on in Frenzy, where it's a little scary against Ball, because if the turn cycling works out just right for Ball's favor, he takes a turn with really low hit points and can try to skill 3 the Ed, but I think it's very unlikely for that to happen. So I'm debating who I want to ban. I don't even need to ban last year because Arrowell also debuffs, or Arrowell, I'm sorry, Winter debuffs. So I kind of want to just get rid of the mitigation. Maybe that's a little greedy of me. I could have banned one of the last ones as well. Alright, so we're going to get to see Roy gameplay here. Alright, so we take the first turn with Lua. And let's see, who do we want to sleep? We could res check the Ball. I think it's better just to go on Conquer, deny the dual attack.
You have no value to me.
And now the question is, do we burn Lua? I don't think we do. We're probably not going to reset the DJB. He probably has too much ER.
Someday, you will be forgotten.
It's important to take a look at Winter at the beginning of the match to make sure she's not on Secret Art Swordstorm. We saw that she was on Armament or something. So she's not going to see our boost here, and our DJB's in front of her, which is nice. Okay, so he sleeps the team, and we can just take the turn with DJB. I guess we can just barrier invert here. Putting up, mischance could be useful. And then we can just boost. Alright, so I don't think we Soulburn with Spectre. We're just going to Soulburn with Roy. I want to make sure that my Roy is cutting. He is. He's at 100. Solitary is at 99. So we can just throw this into probably Conqueror, just in case something survives, but I don't think it will with Roy. Roy's a really fun unit. If you can pull off, this cleave, it's so satisfying. So we stun the Conqueror, and now we're going to get to Snap. So we'll send some damage on Solitaria. And then we'll send some damage on the Ball. And this skill 3 should delete just about everything. It may not kill Winter because, she's behind stealth. so she'll take reduced damage. But here we go. Boom. Nice.
I warned you, didn't
I don't think this winter can solo, so the game is over.
I'll be the one deciding how this story ends.
Don't be surprised. I expected
Let's get
this.
started.
I've talked to a lot of different people about the meta right now, and I think the universal consensus is that it is not good. Standard is a little too strong, like with Destina and Arrowell. It provides so much tank. I'm hoping the balance patch will shift it a bit in the other direction, because right now it's really incentivizing, like Turtle Solitaria type gameplay, and to me it's not very engaging, it's not very fun. It's very reminiscent of some of the earlier RTA seasons, for one, where it felt like when you're playing Standard versus Standard, you're acknowledging that nothing's going to happen for the first, 4-ish frenzies, right? Nothing is going to die, you're just going to have to, wait it out. I remember playing games with, Alencia and just thinking, okay, I literally can't kill anything until, Frenzy 5 or 6, so we're just going to, turn cycle and wait to get there. And that just seems silly to me. So hopefully, Bisaria and Emila Elena will shift the balance a little bit, and we'll get some more dynamic drafts. Alright, so this guy first picks Zio, and he's pre-banned. Opsig is interesting, and then Lua. Lua makes sense, if you're going to try to play aggressively with Zio. Lua can be in Guiding Light, and that can, be a little bit of a pain for Zio. So, let's see, we're going to take Arrowell and Desert Jewel Basar. So my reasoning here with these two picks, Arrowell is the best knight in the game right now, so this is mitigation. I presume he's doing an aggressive strategy if he's first picking Zio. And Desert Jewel Basar is something that can help interrupt the enemy team's momentum. You build him around 260 to 270, and he's going to cut in between a lot of strategies, and it's going to force the opponent, to have to play around that. So it's kind of a speed bump they have to get through. Zio could potentially silence him, that is possible. But then, Zio has to silence that target, right, rather than something else. So, okay, so here we go. Spectre, Conqueror Lilius. This is a pretty popular draft right now, where they go Zio Conqueror. I think it's actually pretty hard to deal with, because these teams can dish out, ridiculous damage. I've been brainstorming, different strategies on how to beat it. I think Arrowell DJB is a pretty good opener into it, and then you can take more defensive units after that. The problem with taking something like Destina, which would kind of be the natural inclination, I think, when you see an aggressive start like this, is that the enemy can take Politis. And Destina, she can heal one thing, I guess you could skill 3, but I just feel like the Politis can rip through your team and do a ton of damage, and really punish the Destina. The DJB boosts your entire team, which can help. He can also give immunity, so the Politis can't put hit down on people, so he's not as bad into Politis. The damage is still spooky, for sure. So here we're going to take Ball and Aiden. Here we're just getting all of our, light units for barriers and stuff. So I think, that can help increase the survivability. Ball is another, kind of speed bump unit I'm going to try to use to interrupt, the enemy's momentum. He takes a Hawk. This is a pretty common pick. Let's see. So what could I take last? I have last pick here. So depending on what he does, I theoretically could last pick an Acid and then just ban the Zio. That would be an option, because you're threatening to outspeed at that point. I think they'd have to ban the Acid. And then it's up to you if you want to try to mind game them and ban the Zio or not. So he takes Designer Lilibet. I guess that's for the Ball. I don't really care about Designer Lilibet. I feel like she doesn't do that much damage. Zahak gives attack buff, so I could just ban him. Conquer gives Vigor, which is also spooky. Zahak does have the hit chance, though, on his skill 3, so that could one-shot the Aiden. So actually, I think we need to ban out the Zahak. I take Apoc here. I didn't want to create a 50-50 ban with Acid. Yeah, we just banned the Zahhak. I couldn't think of what else to take other than APOC in this slot. You want something tanky, you could maybe take Garmin, potentially. If you're a complete cash gamer and you had like a 305 speed Flitica on Guiding Light, you could take that here, and then that would be safe from Zeo. They'd probably have to ban it. What else could you take? Yeah, I think you just need a tanky DPS.
Are you going to provide some?
Alright, so here's Zeo. So he either goes on Aiden to get rid of Escort, or he goes on DJB.
I am the rightful ruler of this land. Kneel before me.
Okay, he goes on Aiden. And I guess this is not an effectiveness Zeo. I think effectiveness Zeo is way stronger in this draft, because it would remove Escort, right? And that's less mitigation for me.
Obey if you wish to live.
So I think, you know, brainstorming into this draft, if they first pick Zeo, you could potentially take Conqueror, but that feels kind of bad. Do we want a barrier invert here? I guess we go for it, even though Designer Lilibet could come up. I think my DJB boost should keep Aiden ahead of her. She'll boost 40, and I think this is 30. If not, it doesn't really matter, because I'll have immunity here, and if he uses the skill 3, it kind of threatens my Aiden, you know, using her skill 2 ability. So we'll just try to pop the Dilibet, I guess. Wanted to go on a dark unit, you know, to get that skill cooldown reduction. Okay, here comes the skill 3 from Designer. I think we would have been in a lot worse spot if he picked something relevant instead of Designer Relevant. She just doesn't do enough here. We can finish her off with APOC, I guess.
I protect. That's what I do.
Now I think we stun Conqueror.
Don't ever ignore the power of someone who has something to protect.
If we stun Zeo, then Conqueror brings Spectre for sure, and that's probably the worst option. In terms of, you know, her bringing Conqueror, or her bringing Zeo or Stenny.
Is that all you've got? At least try to make it fun.
Yeah, if they first pick Zeo, taking Conqueror just seems pretty grief, because they could potentially just flex into Standard, and now you're playing Conqueror into a Zeo, right? It just seems bad. So I don't think that's a good option. I'll have to think about this more. I haven't thought of a better response other than Arrowell DJB, and that's if they ban Lua. If they don't ban Lua, you know, you could have her on Guiding Light, and that would threaten it, obviously.
You aren't even fit to kiss my feet.
It's hard to get other rangers up to the speed that could contest a Conqueror Lilius, though. Like, you need insanely premium gear on a Flitica to get her faster than Lilius, and you're not even going to be faster than all the Liliuses. You'll just be faster than, like, some of them.
A true knight picks their battles wisely.
No need to flatter
Okay,
him.
that's game. If you have any ideas how to draft into that team comp, I would be interested to hear it. It seems like a very strong draft. I'm just not entirely sure how I would approach it. Okay, so this guy pre-bans Winter and Ran. I think that means he wants to play Standard. Usually people that pre-ban Winter want to play Destina. Okay, I'm wrong. He picks Lua Zeo already. So now we're on the defensive. So we can take Fallen Cecilia. And I think Destina is fine here.
Don't be afraid.
Going out with friends is quite fun, actually.
He takes DJB and Adventure Ross. I officially don't know what's going on because it looks like he has no damage. Huh. I mean, so we can just ban last. What's a problem for him? I guess Lionheart Surmia could potentially be a problem. He has a lot of things that dual attack. The Zeo procs her, so does Adventure Ross. I'm almost tempted to pick another Soul Weaver, like another Reviver or something. Ed's not good. Zeo doesn't, debuff other than the silence. Oh, I think, okay, yeah, we can take, so we can take Rem and SSB. So my idea here is I just want 2 somewhat tanky bruisers that have self-sustain, and I think he'll have trouble killing them. We have FCC. Okay, yeah, we just banned Landy. Yeah, I guess I think Lionheart also could have worked. Let's see, could he kill Lionheart? He could defense break it with Lua, and that would be very spooky. So maybe Lionheart's not the best. This is a weird draft. But yeah, so I like Rem here. Rem can, go demon mode, and we can't get debuffed, so she can't get defense broken. Also, both units are blue, which means that Adventurer Ross will have a hard time defense breaking either of them. Neither of them particularly cares about getting Lua reset.
Fear my judgment.
You have no value to me.
I guess he could sleep SSB, that would be annoying.
I want you out of
Oh no, he goes on the FCC. Oh, unlucky. Here's one counter. Yeah, I think he should have just slept SSB, honestly.
Sometimes even I'm amazed by my own talent. You think you can stop
He can hit down, that's annoying.
Will I do anything for you, darling?
Yeah, the hit down on SSB and Stenny is annoying. We're gonna have to kind of power through that. But I think his comp is overall really low damage, and I think he's gonna have a very hard time actually killing my 2 bruisers. And he can't reach Stenny either. So FCC actually gives us pretty good value here. No defense break, that's nice. We get a bat back. Wow, hit debuff is a lie. This guy is getting crushed by RNG. We love Epic 7. Let's see, who do we want to kill? I mean, we could just go for the Zeo kill. No, I think we actually just go for the Lua kill.
I'm bored.
Okay, hit debuff is an incredible lie. Do we get 6 for 6?
Don't be afraid.
I don't think we need to get all these hits.
I'll end it now.
Okay, we missed one.
As long as I'm holding this.
Yeah, we definitely just put up skill null here.
Make sure you feel the pain.
But so far we've RNG'd the opponent pretty hard. We resisted the Lua S2 with FCC, because we definitely don't have ER. SSB has hit an incredible number of times. Our Rem has countered twice.
Consider this an honor.
Going out with friends is quite fun.
The Zeo does hit pretty hard, so this is probably a bruiser Zeo. I kind of get it, like his idea is he can just solo DPS with Zeo and Ras, because here's another Rem counter. Nice, I'm amazing at this game.
Let's start with something light.
Okay, nice. I'll see you guys next time.